Why you might be killing your golf game while protecting your ego. I've read the books, I've listened to podcasts, and I've watched more YouTube mental game tips than I can count. But in all of that content, there's one theme that doesn't really seem to come up. And it's one thing that's held me back more than any other swing fault: ego. Now, when you hear ego, you probably think of the guy with an inflated head who thinks he's Tiger Woods at your local range or course. But in golf, ego is much quieter. Ego is one sense of self, but it's also a defense mechanism. It's a shield we build to protect ourselves from the one thing we're all terrified of: finding out how good or bad we actually are. No. Before we jump into the 4 ways your ego can be hurting your golf game, I'm Eric Black. I post new videos every Monday, so if you want to support this channel, please like it and subscribe. Now let me walk you through the 4 ways that ego can ruin your golf game. The first reason: the fear of trying, or self-handicapping. A few years back, I was listening to one of my favorite golf podcasts, Chasing Scratch. During this conversation, Mike realized that his years in school, he would intentionally not study for tests, creating a win-win situation for his ego. Let me break it down. If he failed, he could say it's because he didn't study, therefore protecting his intelligence. But if he succeeded, he could tell himself he was a genius, even though he didn't have to try. He identified this as self-handicapping, describing that if Mike did try his hardest and got a B, that he couldn't identify with himself as an A student. What he realized during this conversation is he carried the same mentality onto the golf course. Now think about this as yourself. If you try your hardest and fail to meet your handicap goals, or breaking 80 or 90 or 100 or whatever your goals are, it's hard. Now, if you don't try your hardest and you fail to break those goals, you have an easy excuse or out. By avoiding the vulnerability of trying his everything to be a good golfer, he was creating a win-win for his ego with golf as well. When I heard that, I flashed back to my days in school. It struck me because I remember the 20 homework assignments I didn't turn in my freshman year math class. Sorry, Mom. And just like Mike, I realized that this applied not only to golf, but life itself for me as well. I was afraid to publicly commit myself to being a golfer and trying my hardest. So for example, in my game, this applied when I struggled with my wedges for a long time. And when I tried hard and continued to struggle, it really hurt my ego or my confidence in my game itself. Now, when I didn't practice wedges, if I hit them poorly, I had an easy excuse or out. But after hearing that piece from Mike, I realized I was done with that. I'd rather try my hardest and fail than regret not knowing what I was fully capable of. Point 2, the fear of being judged. It doesn't take a therapist to know that humans do not like being judged. One of the places in golf that I feel people feel most judged is actually warming up on the range before a round. This often manifested for me, and others I know, by being less present on the range and scanning around to see who's hitting the ball well, how do I compare to them, and whatever else might have come to my mind at the time. Or even being concerned about doing a warm-up routine that I knew would make my body feel better because I had the fear of being judged. In psychology, they call this the spotlight effect. It's similar to the theme I mentioned in my first video, actually. There is a cognitive bias where you overestimate how much others are noticing your appearance or performance. For example, at the range, you feel like a spotlight is on you, making your mistakes or choices feel magnified. So the next time you think of skipping your warm-up or doing a drill that is actually beneficial for your game, remember that our ego is terrified of being under the spotlight. It's only human for us to feel this way. And to each their own. Some people I play with seem to wear the fact that they didn't warm up like a badge of honor, or even poke fun at the people that did warm up. But if your goal is to play your best golf, who cares? I'm not gonna let the fear of looking uncool ruin something that I've dreamt about all week. Screw the noise, do the arm circles, do the goofy drill, do whatever it takes to play and enjoy your game more. Point 3, the justification trap. When I first got back into playing golf, I remember always telling random playing partners, oh, I normally don't play like this. I'm so sorry. I hit this bad shot. We've all said it. We're all trying to manage a friend or a stranger's perception of us. We feel this desperate need to justify our bad shots, so they don't think this is who we are. But here's the truth. They don't care. Just like I touched on it in the last video, they're too worried about their own game, their own ego. When you stop justifying yourself to others, you finally take accountability for yourself. The final way ego kills us is in the classic way. This is the one where we think we hit the ball further because we hit our 8-iron one time 175 yards, or we hit our driver 300 yards once, but downwind with a bounce off the cart path 4 years ago. Whether it's trying to hit your 8-iron again 175 yards, or trying to hit the hero shot through the trees, we have to remember you'll look way more impressive with a par on the scorecard than you will with a triple bogey because you try to prove how far you hit your irons or your driver. Remember to drop the ego and take the extra club. Avoid the hero shots just because. To recap, the 4 ways ego can bite you is by self-handicapping, letting the fear of being judged stopping you from doing the right thing for your game, falling into the justification trap, or in the classic ways, trying to hit it further or doing the impossible shots more often. Ego isn't just being high on the horse. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of judgment. It's the fear of excuses. As you look forward to 2026, ask yourself, what matters more? Looking cool to strangers or your playing partners? Or playing the best golf of your life? Here's to hoping in 2026 we can learn to drop your ego, give it your all, and just play better golf. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Monday. And if you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe.